Good morning, everybody. This is your boy Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitts Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Comcast Channel 77, Verizon Channel 11. We're back. Remember, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, it's me and Coach Clark Jr., Robert Morris University, the Colonials. Now, as you followed with us through the week, we talked about the preparation to the game. First, of course, the first segment was geared towards everyone learning more about Coach Bernard Clark Jr. Our Thursday session or our Thursday chat was about this week's preparation. More importantly, about this week's word of the week, which was train and practice. And here we are today, Saturday, game day. This is what we worked so hard for during the week. This is those moments when I was a kid, I would be up at night when we had to put our pads in the pads. And you just sat there for a minute rubbing the pads before you put them in because you was ready for Saturday. Kind of wanted to go to sleep in your pads.
Yeah,
Good
I know
morning,
that. I
Coach.
know that feeling. Trust me, it's nothing. I've been in this thing, man. I've been playing football since I was 8 years old. Pitch and game day, I still get butterflies. I still get excited. I still get pumped. I mean, sometimes I come to tears because of the simple fact I can't hit anybody anymore. I got to live vicariously through our guys, and so that's the hard part about game day for me. Understanding I no longer have the ability to be out there, man. So game day is always special. Always special.
So take us through a game day preparation for the Robert Morris University Colonials.
Robert University Colonials, what we do, we probably wake up around this time. I get up early though. I get up and get a workout in. Usually can't eat, so I try to at least put something on my stomach just in case something happens on the field. Just want to be aware of my surroundings and make sure everything's okay. Guys usually get over here. We do a chapel service at 10:30 with the guys. I usually hold that chapel service, and we feed them about 3 hours before the game starts. The day is a 3 o'clock start, so we probably feed them around a quarter to 12 o'clock to make sure they get enough food in, but also the food can digest before they hit the field. So we want to make sure that's good. Some of the coaches meet with their guys. Some of them don't because, like you said, preparation is throughout the week. So they'll sit and maybe go over a test and go over some tips with them about the game to get ready for it. And then what we started this year, and it started our first game of the year, what we do is we're going to meet up at top of the school. There's an area called Hopwood. It's one of the classrooms here on campus. We're going to meet up there. We're going to walk through Tailgate Row. We're going to walk through it as a team. We're going to come down a winding hill, go down the middle of the stands, and go to the middle of the field and pray before the game. We're going to start doing that. It was a tradition we started on the first game that I haven't done here before, but the guys decided, hey, coach, we kind of like that. So we're going to start doing that and taking a walk to the field just to get our minds right and get our bodies right and get going.
What is your mindset in the morning? Do you have a ritual when you first wake up? Something that you first do, or a thing whether it's you know pray, read the Bible, like anything ritual. Like for me, um, it would be listening to Tupac or Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I got you. No, I don't really have any rituals, man. The only thing I like to do at home is kind of more of a routine. My wife always brings me here, and she drops me off as opposed to me driving. So I want to make sure when she brings me here, I give her a kiss before we get out of the car. And then right before every game, I'll look up at her and she's in the stands, or I'll find wherever she is, and we'll give each other a signal. And all it is tell each other we love you in sign language. So we want to make sure I have that connection and make sure she has that connection. That's the only thing I really get excited about. It's the only ritual I really do.
So before we get into today's game day prep and today's game, not so much strategy, but expectations of execution. Um, let's pivot a little bit backwards and go backwards. How was the rest of practice this week? Um, Thursday evening, Friday.
The thing about practice, we practice Monday nights, like I told you before. And on Tuesdays, I don't know where it is, man. It's like everywhere I've been, Tuesday practice just drive me crazy. Because that's kind of the day when you're really putting in the game plan, really putting in what you're going to do. So you got first and second down. You're trying to get the guys acclimated to the other teams, what they're going to do, their strategies and everything. And Tuesdays is just a pain in the butt, man, because guys aren't moving as fast as you like from the move because they're thinking about, okay, we got to do this. We got to make sure we're doing this. And so it drives you crazy. So Tuesday's practice was Tuesday's practice. Wednesdays was better. Wednesdays was better. Then Thursday, the preparation came together. We had a great walkthrough yesterday. And the guys, they seem charged up. They seem ready to go, coaches as well as players.
What is the environment of the locker room on game day mornings? Is it subdued? Are they ready? Are they loud? The music blaring?
All that. I mean, that's the thing about it. They get there about 2.5 hours. Some of them get there 3 hours before they start, and some of them are sitting in, like you said, they're sitting there listening to the headphones. They have no idea what to listen to. The music these days, I don't want to listen to it. So it's one of them situations. This is the time, man. I really start feeling like my dad. It's so weird. My dad was like, "Well, what are you listening to?" I find myself doing the same thing right now with these guys. Like, hey, what are you listening to? So they usually get here about 2.5, 3 hours before, man. They get excited. Then all of a sudden, when they really get here about an hour and a half before we start, you start hearing the music from the locker room. It's blaring all the way out to the field. So they get excited about it. And when I get in there, they're pretty much charged up before we hit that field. Before we go out there, I say a couple of words to them. We have something that we recite. It's a part of the team. It's called the Colonial Creed. It was created by one of our players that used to be here. We hang it up in our locker room. We talk about, playing hard for each other and getting after the opponent and making sure we have each other's back. So that's the excitement and that's the ritual that we go through as a team getting excited.
Walk us through your game strategy and plans for today. If
Well,
you,
the biggest
maybe.
the biggest thing, Pitts, is what we talked about before that we don't want to have what we had last week. Talked to the offense all week long about cutting down on the penalties. Let's make sure we be smart and let's cut down on those penalties. Not to have many uh, penalties is going to set us back. Last week we get a first down and then we get an offside. Now we're 1st and 15 as opposed to 1st and 10. So we don't want to do those things. Defensively, we missed entirely too many tackles. So we make sure with preparation, we put ourselves in position to always make a tackle, always wrap the guy up and make sure we grab his claw. So the thing that we want to do more than anything, they want to get our running game established. We haven't gotten our running game established where it needs to be at. We're sitting at about 2.9 yards a carry, and we need to be at about 4.2, 3.8. Somewhere around in there, we want to make sure we're getting averaging that many yards per carry. We can get 5, that's even better. So we're going to try to establish our running game and get that going. We're going to continue to grease the wheels as far as our new offensive coordinator, as far as the offense goes. So they're doing a great job of that, the preparation there. And defensively, we want to make sure we're executing, being aligned right, being what we're supposed to do. And like I said, don't miss tackles. So those are things that are important. And special teams, we want to keep it as consistent as we can on special teams. To me, special teams, you're not always hoping that special teams wins a game for you. That'd be great. Right. You don't ever want special teams to lose a game for you. Right. We want to make sure the execution, the preparation, and guys know their assignments when it comes to special teams, and guys have the willingness to do it. Because and I know, Pitts, when it comes to kickoff, it's all about want to. It's all about wanting to get down there and make a tackle. Because if you really want to be revealed, go down on kickoff slow. You'll definitely get revealed real quick. So now the guys, those are the things we're looking to do and things we're looking to get better.
Special teams sets the tone of the game.
Absolutely.
Anytime, and I was sharing this with my son, my oldest son, yesterday, me and my father, and we was telling him it was a play that happened in a game against it was North Carolina State and Virginia, and the quarterback underthrew the running back on a flare out coming out the backfield, and the defensive back pulled up because the running back dropped it, and I'm like, right. Hit him. And he like, me and my dad like hit him. He like, why? It's unnecessary. Said you set the tone. Why let him get that pass? You was there enough to still make a physical contact because you always want that player to know if they don't see anybody else doing it, they know when your number's around that it's going to be physical. So they got to keep their head on a swivel. And he was like, what does that mean? And that's something else I learned that the younger generation don't know, because I don't want to say it's watered down, but the safeness of the game, they can't do wedge on kickoff no more. Being a wedge buster, that was one of the toughest, craziest dudes on the team, to be that one person that you got to run down field full speed, and you got locked arm linemen and linebackers together, and your job is to bust that wedge.
Yeah. But you're right on. You're 100% true, and that's what it says. Like you said, it sets the tone. And that's what special teams does. And it's funny you bring up the North Carolina State and the Virginia game, because that's another thing. You talk about penalties. Look at those three penalties. Those 3 penalties at the end of that game that pretty much cost Virginia the game, and just not being smart, not having discipline to do what you're supposed to do. What we talk about, training, being instructed and having a discipline from those instructions to understand your assignment.
Actually, I'm a ask you a question in particular to a sequence of things that happened during that at the end of the game that we're referring to, and then I'm gonna jump back to a question I wanted to say about special teams. In those moments, as a head coach, how frustrating is it that okay, we score a touchdown to be able to now all we need to do is complete a 2 point conversion, and before we can complete the 2 point conversion, we got an offensive lineman that gets us a 15-yard penalty of unnecessary roughness personal foul. Then on the 2 point conversion, we have our quarterback then give us another 15-yard unnecessary personal unsportsmanlike conduct personal foul, 15 yards on the kickoff, which now you already situational football. You've now already placed your special teams at a disadvantage on the opening kickoff because now they're 15 yards, you're 15 yards back. So now they're really catching the ball to mid 30, 40. So you're already at a disadvantage. How frustrating and how would you teach those moments to the team in those situations when it basically become discipline can be an error or a catalyst for us losing the game?
The thing that's tough about that is you want to snap on them. You really do. But at the same time, it has to be a teachable moment. I think in the first unsportsmanlike, he should have gathered everyone together and said, hey, guys, that's just cost us. Let's be smart. You can't talk to that one individual at that time. I think you need to talk to the entire unit and say, hey, guys, that just cost us unsportsmanlike. Let's be smart about what we're doing. Let's not give them anything. Let's not make this an unfair advantage by self-inflicted wounds. Let's be smart about what we're doing. He should have got the whole team, in my opinion. He should have
Right.
gathered the whole team. And maybe he did that, but I didn't see it, and I apologize. Maybe he got the whole and talked to them about, hey, we just had a dumb penalty that put us 15 yards back. Now we're trying to get 2 points out of this. Let's make sure we're smart on this 2 point play because the game's not over. We still got 36 seconds. I think you talk to them. And then when it happens the second time, I think what you got to tell the kickoff team, hey, guys, you're going to be 15 yards back. Let's make sure we get down in our lanes. Let's make sure we cut this guy out because we can't give this guy who's a top return man in the ACC at the moment. We can't give him any light of day. We can't let him break out the edge. And so you got to make sure you're staying on those things. You can't become undisciplined as a coach at that time by snapping on them and going off on them. You got to try to maintain your composure when you are pissed off. That's what it boils down to. But you got to maintain your composure as a head coach to try to talk them off the ledge and help them understand. In order to win this game, we got to be disciplined. In order to win this game, we have to execute. In order to win this game, we have to follow the instructions of what we've done all week long.
And can you explain to our listeners and viewers why the penalty on the field goal was called when the man jumped over the back of one of his teammates?
Because he landed on their guy. Once his foot landed on the top of their guy, that's why the penalty was called. Had he been able to clear it, this is my understanding of it, had he been able to clear everyone and not land on the center, which is who he landed on, you can jump up and land on your guy, but you can't jump up and land on their guy. That's my understanding. And also, he went over the top of the center. You can't go anywhere over the top of the center when the center's head's down. When the center's head is down, it's going to be called a personal foul because he can be injured extremely easy with his head down, snapping the ball between his legs. So he went over the top of the center. Again, had he come over to the side and not landed on one of their guys, I think they would have been fine with it. But because of what he did and where he did it at and how he landed, that's why it became a penalty. But again, you're not worried about that if you're not kicking for 15 yards further than you had to kick it. So those two penalties cost them. The first one, they capitalized on. They still got a 2 point conversion. The second one, I think it hurt them a lot more when the quarterback did what he did.
Right. So we go back to in preparation of Robert Morris game day and execution of today. And you talk about first we'll focus on the part that you spoke about special teams and the importance of special teams not killing. And I emphasize to a lot of people that special teams is just as important as an intricate part of the game as offense and defense because it's all about field position, flipping the field, and situational football. If we can't get a first down and we're deep in our own 20, then we need a good punt to kind of get us out of this mess so our defense isn't penned against their already red zone area. Or if it's a punt return and we're deep and you get a nice punt, it's important to, try to basically get as much as we can on special teams to put the offense in a better position. So when you talk about special teams play, can you just elaborate more on the importance that you to your special teams players and the coaches?
Well, exactly what you just said. It has a lot to do with field position. It has a lot to do with where you're going to be on the field. Just to give you an idea when it comes to special teams, and I'll elaborate on some other stuff too. But first of all, let's say it's a triangle. Let's say football's a triangle. Where the bottom of that triangle is special teams, because you got offense and defense that comes together. And then if you go up, you got offense on one side, defense on the other. So special teams is that foundation. You want to make sure on both sides of the ball they're doing what they can to make sure we're establishing the field position, make sure we're doing the things that we've been instructed to do. The other thing is you got to understand, let's say they started at the minus 20-yard line. If a team starts at the minus 20-yard line, they have I think it's either 1 in 20 or 1 in 30 chances of scoring. 1 in 20 or 1 in 30 chance of scoring. If they start at the minus 40, it's 1 in 8. So it gives you an idea of field position when it comes to special teams and where you need to be at. The other thing is if you're punting the ball, let's say we're punting the ball to the opponent. If that ball hits the ground, it loses an average of 15 yards. So when it comes to special teams, field position is so important. And the people understand how important it is. So if you're lackadaisical getting downfield as a gunner and you allow that punt returner to get 10 yards, he's averaging 10 yards. Well, that's a first down. You've just given them a first down. If you got a chance to tackle them inside the 20, now they get to the 40-yard line. Now they got a 1 in 8 chance of scoring, as opposed to be tackling inside the 20, they got a 1 in 30 chance of scoring. So all those things play an intricate role in what we're trying to do when it comes to special teams. That's why special teams, to me, has to be solid. Special teams is made up of offense and defensive players. The entire team is counting on special teams. And not only that, it's always the first play of every game. Whether you're a kickoff or kickoff return, your mindset has to be, I'm going out there for the first play. The one thing I remember when I was in college, after my first year of being redshirted, the one thing I said to myself, I'm going to be on that bus. And if it takes being on special teams to be on that bus, I'm going to be on every special teams that I can be on to make sure I'm on that field on Saturdays. I'm not sure if young men take that approach anymore, but that was my approach. My approach was, I'm getting on this bus one way or another. I got to run out on kickoff return, punt, whatever it takes to be on this bus. That's what I'm going to do. And so that's my mindset when it comes to special teams. We work a lot on special teams. We work anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes a day on special teams because I think it's extremely important that we capitalize on every moment that we have when it comes to field position, if it comes to getting a touchdown out of it, if it comes from a fake punt or whatever the situation would be, we got to capitalize when it comes to special teams.
Sadly, the mindset when it comes to football in general, and as time goes and changes and, things come in, other things that are taken out, the mindset of football, I think, has definitely been devalued in some ways. Because now when you hear special teams, you got players that, oh, I don't want to be on special teams, or I don't want to do that. Why? That's clean. That's garbage duty. No, that's not garbage duty. Like when you show your grit and your will, because special teams is that one where, okay, you may not get the light that the quarterback or the defensive back, safety, linebacker, D lineman, etc. You may not get that. It may not be that limelight, but guess what? That game changing moment when you come down there flat out on a kickoff or flat out on punt or punt return, and you make that either that crucial block that springs your man loose for a touchdown, or you come down and you make that crucial hit, or you come down and you make a crucial hit that creates a fumble. So there's so many different things that can happen on special teams that I think that some of the players today take for granted, or they don't value it as it used to be. And I
There's
and I
no
don't know
doubt.
if and I don't know if it's because the rule changes with special teams. It's like now you can fair catch. You don't got to return it. You can't wedge. It's like the challenges they have is so much better now. Because for us, like there was no, oh, you got a concussion, oh, come out the game. You get that smelly salt and you go right back in. You go right
I'm
back
not,
in.
Prince, I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but you're 100% right.
No,
There's
it's
no
it's
doubt
not a
about it.
good thing. It's not a good thing, and it wasn't a good thing. But I'm just saying the difference in mindset was like,
Yes.
regardless, we still wanted to get back out there, and it doesn't. Now looking at when you talk about CTE and everything else, you take that a lot more seriously
Yeah,
than
absolutely.
before. But I just think that when it comes to the value of special teams, a lot of players have devalued it based off it not being that shiny position that they glamorize and can gloat over.
Well, the thing about it, and I'll tell you one quick story before we finish. When I was a coach at FIU and I was coaching the defensive line at FIU, there was a young man that I recruited and also he played for us. His name is Greg Ellingson. And Greg has been in Canada, probably played in Canada for the last 12 or 13 years. He's a wide receiver. But what Greg was, he started as a freshman, but he was also one of the best gunners on our punt team. We knew once he got out there, the guy wasn't going to return the punt because he's going to be in his face so quick, he's going to have to call fair catch. And if he doesn't call fair catch, Greg's going to tell him about a 1 yard gain or a 2 yard gain because he took that gunner position extremely serious and he did everything he could to get down there. Guys don't understand the importance of being a gunner on special teams anymore. They don't understand the importance, like you said, being a wedge buster on kickoff because you got to get down there and break everything up and make sure you're making a tackle. Guys don't understand the importance of a punter and how important a punter is. Exactly what you said. A punter can flip field position quick. If you're backed up on the 20, just like you were talking about, now he kicks a 50-yard punt. That guy doesn't field it, and it rolls another 15 yards. Now they're starting inside their own 20. You just flip the field and put yourself in a position. Now, if you block the punt, now you can score a touchdown. So all those things come together. Guys don't understand that, and they don't value. So that's why we spend a lot of time on special teams to make sure they understand the value and the importance of special teams.
And one last question before we go.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to the offense because this year, it's the first year, it's a new offensive coordinator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do take in some type of way, like timing, continuity has to build and within, players who may have been there last year, I'm not sure if the playbook has changed dramatically, formations or the language is different. But this is the fourth, fifth game. So, I think that the collective practice, I think when you talk about the run game and the average and the yards per carry or whatnot, and you said I think it was 2.9.
Yes.
That those things then start to increase because after a while it's like when you bake it, there's new ingredients, they come together, but after a while, once it's set, it gets that form. And I think today, especially with the red out, I think that the offense and the offensive line given last week, those things within the run game, I think it'll be a difference in the gameplay today that it'll start to take that form that you're yearning and looking for.
I appreciate that, Fitz, and that's what we're looking for. Like towards the end of the game last week against Youngstown, Cyrus Bonsu, he's one of our running backs. He averaged 5 yards a carry last week, so he did a great job there. But also the O-line started moving guys a little bit better. So I'm hoping exactly what you said. That run game is going to come together because I feel like our offense is starting to gel. That language that they speak, they're all starting to understand it. So it's going to mean some big things for us, I hope so, in the run game.
And I told him, man, I was going to give my man, is it Dante Booty? Booty?
Yeah. Uh-huh. go give him a shout out. Yeah, he's coming.
Shout out to 52.
Yeah, the great thing is he's coming back for us. He's been hurt. I always tell guys the difference between being hurt and being injured. Injured means you can't play anymore that year, whatever situation. Being hurt means I'm coming back eventually. So he's been hurt, and he's able to come back and join us today. Like you said, it's going to be a red out. Everybody's going to wear red. So if you're listening and you're coming to this Robert Morris football game, make sure you're wearing red and show up and show out, man. And let's go, Bobby Moe.
Bobby Moe. It's your boys, Pitts, on Pitts and Push. Coach Bernard Clark Jr. It's going down every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9:30 a.m. The schedule's not going to change. Tap in with us. You got questions you want to ask Coach while we're going live, you can ask them. I'll present it to Coach. Maybe with an answer or not. But listen, we appreciate you. It's going down. Bobby Moe, Robert Morris University Colonials. Hey, the beginning of greatness. It's your boy Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitts Sports Zone, Bowie TV. We'll talk to you again on Tuesday.
Let's go,
Bobby Moe. Have a good day, Coach. Good luck. Let's go 1-0.
Thank you, sir.